back. Episode 3, Peter Spice Show. You've had episode 2, you've had episode 2.5. They were in the wrong order. But
that's how we do things.
yeah, so we're now here. Episode 3. How are you doing, Chris?
Yeah, I'm fine. We're recording weirdly on a Monday night.
Yeah, very off schedule. We've got busy lives, haven't we, Chris? So sometimes,
I mean, someone has. I don't.
when you're podcasters like us, you've just got to record when you can.
Oh, so I'm basically the guy who does the editing, and then you're the guy who's gallivanting over Europe. Is that what it is? Yeah?
I come to your house, sit on your sofa, drink your water.
And that water is pure Brita filtered water. That is the finest of all waters.
Yeah, not slumming it. But yeah, so it's a bit different this episode today. Not the usual schedule. Start of the year, it's a bit slow with new music anyway. So this is the one and only. I think this is the one you've been waiting for out of all the reviews. This is the review of 2019.
Yeah, never mind Pitchfork and their top 50 bullshit, or Consequence of Sound, or Enemy, if they're still even a publication at the moment. I don't even know anymore. No, this is what they call the real deal.
Yeah.
And it's only proper if it rhymes, so, you know.
And it does.
I wasn't going to rhyme after that, so.
So yeah, this is, kind of our own individual one, and then the Peter Spice Show as a whole, you know, the media institution that we are, the podcasts.
The pioneers.
Yeah, the podcast top 10 overall. So we're thinking top albums of 2019, top singles of 2019, there's some shit that's been going on in 2019.
If we can remember it.
If we can remember it.
If we ever get to that.
We'll come back to that. And just looking back with fond memories over 2019.
A beautiful year.
Yeah. How was your 2019?
It was alright.
Yeah.
Pretty much. Same as any other year.
Yeah.
How about you?
I had a good 2019, actually.
What was your highlight of 2019?
My highlight of 2019? Starting this podcast, Chris.
What? Right at the end of 2019?
Yeah, we left it there, and it was a beautiful way to cap the year off.
Right. Okay.
And what about you?
Anything else?
So we're recording.
We're just making sure it's all recorded. So I'll edit this bit out, so don't worry. Future Chris, edit out. Cool. Well, I suppose in terms of, this is a highlight, I suppose, of 2019.
There we go.
We've got a joint highlight. So the Peter Spice Show highlight of 2019 is the Peter Spice Show.
Exactly.
I don't know.
As I'm sure the listeners at home, listeners plural.
How do you know that at home? They could be walking about.
Yeah.
They could be driving. Watch out for that sheep. That sort of thing, right? You know, we don't know what's going on. We can't just assume.
Wherever people are, not in Canada.
Oh yeah, well, we still got a war in Canada.
But I'm sure this was one of their highlights of 2019. So
yeah, everyone apart from a Canuck, we've won them over. The war of Canada versus a house in Leeds.
Yeah, we've also got a battle against EDM DJ. I think this is right. I think it's.
Did you say Cedric Gervais?
Cedric Gervais. There you go.
I think he may be related to Ricky Gervais.
Yeah,
That's why.
He had a big song called Molly.
I mean, maybe us talking about this, we'll get another copyright claim.
I really hope it don't. And Cedric seemed to think that we used part of his song in the last podcast in episode 2, and tried to take us down from the internet.
I mean, if you don't know, long-term listeners, aka Don, we don't play music in our podcast, so somehow, maybe we're so, I don't know, we're trained singers without realising. Our voices are just so pitch perfect.
Yep.
That it can be copyright claimed.
Basically, yeah. So we're now on episode 3, and we've already had 3 separate copyright issues. One of which got us banned from Canada. One of which, has started a feud now with Cedric Gervais.
Yeah, he's on that list with all the Canucks.
Yeah.
I wonder if he's Canadian. Do we even check if he's Canadian?
Could be, actually. I've not checked that.
Right, if he's Canadian,
We'll get back to you on that. Episode 4 will be a review of our copyright issues. Yeah, and where we're banned. But yeah, so what are we jumping straight in?
Yeah, let's go straight into it.
Let's go. So we're thinking album wise, we've got kind of a top 10 each. I've also got some honourable mentions I want to shout out. So it's basically a top 20, but I'll just skim through the first 10, and then we've come to some kind of scientific agreement on the shared top 10.
You know when they taught you Pythagoras theory and algebra?
Yes.
That's what we've used.
Yeah.
In the fact that when I say we've used it, we haven't used it at all. Yep. We've just come with some sort of understanding.
Well, A squared plus B squared equals C squared. C squared being the Peter Spice Show top 10.
Yeah.
And then we've done top 10 songs of the year as well, 2019, which you can find on your favourite music streaming platforms, episode playlist, links in the description. So listen to them.
Yeah.
Because they're good fucking playlists.
And I expertly craft them.
Yeah.
When I've not been given
handcrafted every week.
Blood.
Yeah.
Emanates from my fingertips every single time. But
any other before we get started, any other formalities? Shout out Gilbert as always for the intro,
outro,
intro/outro. Go follow us on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook if you
can be bothered.
Do that. YouTube, Spotify, Apple, all of the above.
No one else.
Not yet. We'll keep you updated.
I mean, if we want to diverse.
Might get a TikTok soon, actually, I'm thinking. TikTok's hot right now.
Well, that'll be your baby, mate.
Okay. TikTok to be confirmed. We'll get back to that one. So yeah, kicking off, I'll run through my honourable mentions to begin with.
Yeah, I'll do the same as well.
And then because we'll skip through these and then we'll get into detail about as top ones. Now this here, I'm not one for kind of having favourites and ordering stuff. So this is just
maybe we need to clarify that for any new people.
I thought it's been clarified. So this is just alphabetical by artist name.
What's it going on?
So just quickly run through these ones. Ariana Grande, Thank You Next. Actually a banging.
That was our last year.
Banging pop album. Yep. Sweetener was 2018. Thank You Next 2019.
Yeah, that was it. Yeah.
And Thank You Next is just a really solid album.
Yeah, good album.
I've actually gone Billie Eilish.
Wow, I never listened to it.
When We All Fall Asleep, Where Do We Go? Again, really good to say. She's only
where does Billie go?
I have to listen to the album, Chris.
Okay.
So she's only what? 17.
You can't bury the lead.
So she's only like 17, 18, whatever she is now. It's it's kind
has she got the potential to be superstar but still have a good quality album?
Possibly, yeah, because it's it's a pop album really, but it's quite it's pretty edgy. It's got its own thing going on. I've actually gone when we talked about last episode, Black Midi, Schlagenheim.
Oh really? So you go back to it then?
Yeah, I don't know if that is enough for top 10. Kind of what we were saying last time. It's one that you've got to be, I feel like, in the right mood to sit down and listen to it.
Yeah, I've not gone back.
Still a very good album. Danny Brown, you know what I'm saying?
I do know what you're saying, and Danny Brown's album's great.
It is.
It's not in my top 10, but it's a great
not coming into the top
album.
10. I've also gone Dorian Electra, Flamboyant.
Who?
Dorian Electra. She's
don't know.
Yeah, give that a listen.
So what's that then?
Kind of synthy, poppy, electronic pop, experimental pop stuff. Really good. Yep.
Stuff pop.
Yeah. Gone FKA Twigs, Magdalene as well. Really good album. Malibu Ken, Aesop Rock, and Tobacco. We'll talk about that more.
Well, we'll talk about some of these before we go.
I've also gone. You were actually mentioning Japanese pop last time. Japanese punk album from Otoboke Beaver called Itakoma Hits.
Is that odd? I never listened to it. I remember you giving that to me. I never got around to it.
That is good, yeah. Again, I mean, not really understanding much of what's being said.
You get the vibe, though, yeah.
Great tracks on there.
Definitely check that out.
I've actually got Megan Thee Stallion Fever. Just bangers, banger after banger after banger.
She knows how to craft a good song.
It's and
she can rap, so
pretty much listen to any song in there, and it's a banger. And Where's Blood, Titanic Rising.
Oh, it's on my list.
Also, very good album. So those are, they're up there, but not quite enough for my top 10. But yeah, I mean, some of those we'll go into a bit more about. So I say, I'll give you 5 of mine. We'll discuss.
5 of mine.
You give me 5 of yours to discuss.
All right.
And then we'll go backwards and forwards. So this is, I'm going to actually go back end of the alphabet here, first of all. And this is, again, alphabetical by artist. I'm going to go backwards. Tyler, the Creator, Igor. Got Slow Tie, Nothing Great About Britain. Michael Kiwanuka. Lizzo, Because I Love You. And Little Sims, Grey Area. Those are first 5 of my top 10. I just think they're all very, very great albums. Trying to think what actually came out. Was it Little Sims that came out earlier?
I think it was around
Little
April.
Sims were pretty early in the year, wasn't it?
April, March,
and
May.
I don't know. I think that one, the last album, the Wonderland album, was good, and I liked the the concepts behind it, but just thought there were some tracks on there that didn't hit as hard as they could do.
Is it because it had too many songs?
Possibly, yeah.
Because that's how I felt with that album. Because the thing is with Little Sims, she's always been consistently good on a song.
Mm-hmm.
Like the songs are not bad. I think it's like, yeah, you're right. Maybe not all of them have hit with the way she probably wants it to be, but I think I'll say Little Sims is on mine. It's number 7 on mine. So yeah, I have an actual top 10. Not a curious 10.
Chris is ordered by how much he likes him, not the name of the artist.
Yeah, mine's listening to this is.
Well, I'll tell you right. Okay, you give me your
I'll go to
bottom 5, and then we'll discuss.
Because Little Sims is on there, obviously. So we got Slow Tie as well. Nothing Great About Britain. We got the aforementioned Aesop Rock and Tobacco, aka Malibu Ken, the album Malibu Ken. Also FKA Twigs, Magdalene, and then we've got Little Sims, Grey Area, and then rounding off at number 6, Land Del Rey. So number 6, Land Del Rey, Norman fucking Rockwell, 7, Little Sims, Grey Area, 8, FKA Twigs, Magdalene, 9, Aesop Rock and Tobacco, Malibu Ken, and 10, Slow Tie, Nothing Great About Britain.
There you go. So that's your 5, 10 through 6.
But I suppose we'll talk about Little Sims still. So you were saying that obviously before the guy, I can't remember what I think it was like Wonderland or something. I want it. I can't remember.
Stillness in Wonderland, something along those lines.
Yeah, because the album before that was also the same sort of concept, wasn't it? Yeah. You were saying that this one is maybe a little bit more special in terms of what she's done previously.
Yeah, it's less overall one continuing concept story through the album.
Yeah,
but each track is has its own story behind it, and I think pretty much all the tracks are just great. She's great on all the tracks, I think, as well. I think probably some of the best songs are on the album as well, and just overall just solid.
Yeah, I agree. That's why it's number 7 for me. Like it's got a really good direction. It's I think she definitely spent a lot more time in the studio to kind of make sure she's crafting the actual album. But I don't know, maybe I felt like with this one she'd had the idea of going, okay, well, I'm going to just draw it back a little bit, not give you too much, and
sometimes less is more.
I agree. Maybe not to the extent what Kanye West was trying to do last year or so, But I completely agree. I think every single bops, every bar that she is well crafted. I think she's someone who I think we said, was it in the Grime one or the one before on episode 2, like she's just very, very underrated, and she's not got enough exposure because she's a girl. I don't know. I'd hope that's not the case, but she needs to have a lot more attention put towards her, because I think we've got a really special artist there. I think she can. She's only in mid-20s or something like that.
I think so. Yeah.
She's only going to get better, in my opinion, because I thought that's exactly what's happened. When you look at the growth from the first album to now, she can almost do it in her sleep.
Yeah. And I mean, so we sticking with like UK arts, I guess we both mentioned Slow Tie. Nothing great about Britain.
Round out my number 10.
Yep. Both went to see Slow Tie in Newcastle in October, were it, I think?
Yeah, I think it was actually, yeah. It's like, that sounds right. And that was a phenomenal gig.
Yeah, very good. But yeah, I think it's quite not like a refreshing album, but it's not really like that kind of UK hip hop.
So
the stories behind the tracks, it is something that's quite refreshing.
Yeah, because he's got this unique sort of style of how he raps, and he's very. I remember first hearing him. I think it must have been. It was the morning after not New Year's Day, morning of Record Store Day, and I think it was because we'd all been partying out, and I think yourself and Matt stayed at mine. And I think Matt put Tea and Biscuits on. I think it was it Tea and Biscuits?
Well, you were going to see Dave.
Yeah, we're going to see Dave.
So I was
night.
supporting.
Yeah. And so he put that on there. So yes, I seen him twice in last year. Yeah. And as soon as I heard him, it was like what you remember when I first remember hearing Dizzy, because he has just got that style of like how his vernacular kind of works around the sort of tracks, and I think he can come across, and maybe it might sound sometimes that he's dumb or they're kind of very simple lyrics, but they're not. They're actually quite well crafted, and how they all conjoin each other to each sort of line. But the thing is, what I also felt like when I more thought about it as well, this is appeared in my head now. Have you ever listened to Skinny Man's Council State of Mind?
Nope.
It's a bit like that, because that's basically what the whole concept is. What Nothing Great About Britain. It is literally, this is from Northampton, am I correct?
Yeah.
He's from Northampton, obviously, and he's grown up, with in a sort of low class to maybe probably not even middle class really, maybe, but maybe around that sort of stylings, and that's kind of how his experience is from his friends of a diverse nature as well as himself, how he views the government. Everything, it's all layered in that sort of way, and I think it showed when he did the whole Boris thing. Can't remember what was that? Mercury Awards. Was that?
Yeah.
I think my memory's overthinking. So I feel like that's why it's an important album. It's what I mean in terms of what my list is. It's the third best UK hip hop album that came out. For Little Sims being the second one. But I think it's definitely worth the attention, especially if you want to have someone who's a little bit different, because he's not a grime rapper. He doesn't he can rap like that at that 140 BPM, but he's not. He does his own sort of style, and that's just kind of how it is, and he owns that style. And I think that's really cool. I think it's quite rewarding. And again, like you said, very, very refreshing. It's someone who's young, and he's doing something different to what is actually everyone else is making. Sort of the hits. He's doing something a little bit different that's still kind of knocking. Is it because he's got a fairer skin colour? Maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe that's why you can see him getting away with stuff more. I feel like if there were other artists who were saying or doing similar stuff to him, imagine like a Dave doing it. You can imagine the reception might get a bit more attention.
We'll go to that when I get to that point, I think.
Yeah. But yeah, overall, I mean, as well, to say it's a debut album as well.
Yeah, I think super strong.
Yeah.
Super strong album.
So ones that I've got that you haven't got, Igor, Tyler. I think when Flower Boy came out, and I think we are going to do a decade in review at some point.
Yeah, that's definitely on the cards.
That's coming up. That was 2017.
Yeah.
Flower Boy was one of my top albums that year. And I think when I first listened to Igor, because it is, quite not completely different to it, because there are elements that do carry over, but it sort of took me a bit to get used to it. But I think now I have listened to it for 6 months, whatever. I think I actually prefer it to Flower Boy.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And
Slow Tie's on that as well. He's got some vocals on that.
Yeah, on See the Light, I think it is.
Yeah.
But I just like that it's basically Tyler just doing whatever he wants to do, and not really caring about what some fans or whoever might want him to do.
Yeah.
And I think it's a solid album.
Yeah, I mean, he's an artist that I'll always check out ever since Odd Future, because you could always see the talent there no matter what. And I think he's got the voice that can cut through steel sometimes, because of that. I know how deep his voice is, but and that's why people like him when he's rapping, because he can cut through and you can really hear what he's saying. But the kid's just super talented, and he's still showing that case as well. I mean, Flower Boy and Igor as well, I both liked the albums. I just never ever got into them as much, and maybe I didn't give them enough time to do so. I preferred Igor over Flower Boy anyway. Maybe because it was more the direction that I kind of wanted, but I don't know. It's kind of strange, really, with Tyler, because my favourite album of his for a long time has been Wolf.
Mm-hmm.
I think because that's his most rappy album that he does, and maybe because I'm just more into that than that's the case, because that's, when you listen to Bastard, which was the 15th or 10th anniversary of the day or something like that.
Possibly, yeah.
Yeah, and listen to Goblin, he's when he got to Wolf, he just had already really kind of evolved as a rapper, and it was so much better. Even though also those albums or that mixtape, if you want to say, for Bastard, was bad. They weren't all. He had great vocal performances on there, but I think Wolf was just that turning point where it was like, wow, he can actually rap. And the Funk Flex freestyle, if you not already know about that, that's hilarious, and it shows he can rap as well, and he can do it off the top of the dome in a way. So I think Igor is a really good album for someone who wants to kind of understand a different sort of concepts within hip hop, I suppose, because he's got so many different sort of styles that he can, and he's crafted them in a very, very good album. Like I said, I'm not saying I probably, if I listened to a lot more, I probably would be in my top 10, but I don't know if it would be or not. But I like the fact that he has his freedom now where he wants to do whatever he wants to do. And I don't really see him falling off. I think he's always going to have a really good metric in terms of what he's doing.
Yeah.
People are not going to hate it. People are going to like it. People have opinions. That's just a fact of life. So I think, it's definitely a solid album, and I can understand why it's on your list.
But yeah, so then just capping off those, my first five there, the Michael Kiwanuka album, which only came out a couple of months ago, probably November, I think, something like that. So it's not been out for too long.
Actually, yeah.
But that's just a really solid album.
This album I really wanted to listen to.
Yeah.
I just never got around to.
Yeah.
I've been a massive fan of his since I saw him live. God, what year are we in now? 2020.
2020.
So I was with my ex, but I wasn't with her at that point. So was that 8 years ago? So I've known about him for a long time. I think, and the Stave supported him, and they were really cool as well. So I've always been interested. I liked the album previously.
Yep.
The big 8-minute track, I've probably listened to that about a bazillion times when that came out. For whatever reason, I just never got around to it, and it's something that kind of I will get around to it during this sort of quiet month. I'll be getting around to it, but
yeah, and similarly, kind of what I've been saying with stuff before, all the songs have really kind of great messages behind them when you properly listen to them. Some of them again are just really great songs. There's a few bits in the album where there's a few interludes, things like that, which, you know, don't necessarily add a lot to the album, but I don't really take away from it either. That the rest of the album is still, you know, stands up on its own, really. And yeah, I think it's one of those where, because it came out later in the year, sometimes you do tend to miss stuff later on, don't you? You don't have enough time. You don't have as much time to listen back to stuff. Yeah,
I've just shown you my backlog already. It's like it's almost like 100 albums I need to listen to.
But yeah, so yeah, if you haven't listened to that one, then definitely give it a go. And then the last one as well is Lizzo, "Cause I Love You," and we kind of talked about it on episode 2 how Lizzo seems to get a lot of shit, which a lot of it is kind of, I don't know,
unnecessary.
Unwarranted, really. Like you know why people are doing it, and there are underlying reasons behind it. But you know, I just think it's just a really good album. It's just like a fun album.
Yeah, that would be on my honourable mentions. Yeah, I think it is a really good album. I think I re-listened to it the other night, knowing that we'll probably end up talking about this, and it's like, yeah, I like it because I think I think it's how we're discussing about her anyway. It's her personality and how she does come across is all in that album. Like, that is her. If you like that album then don't like her, that will literally make no sense at all.
Yeah.
She's just super comfortable in her own skin, comfortable with her sexuality, and it's just a fun album. Like, you know, I don't. Yeah, again, maybe if I had more time with it, it might have been reached in my top 10. But no, definitely honourable mention because I really like that album a lot.
Yeah, and I think that whilst all the songs do have good message behind them, if you're looking for something, you know, really cerebral and that you really need to think about to get the meaning of, that's not the album, because it's a pop album pretty much.
Yeah, pretty much.
And, you know, the songs are kind of tells you what it wants to tell you. But if you go in knowing that and you're not expecting, you know, anything too
lyrical miracle,
yeah, it's just it's just a good time. And I mean, we've probably seen it with festivals and stuff been to this year. I think probably seen like 3 times this year.
Oh, really?
And every time she's just really, really solid and
good performer as well.
Yeah. Just
should do top 10 29 taking performers.
Top 10 Lizzo appearances 2019. But yeah, great album.
So what the other albums I will have to mention then that are not on your fire list? So the next one will be my boy Aesop Rock and Tobacco under the moniker of Malibu Ken.
Yep. Kind of narrowly missing out. I'd say out of my honourable mentions, that's one of the top ones.
And that's Aesop Rock, not ASAP Rocky.
Yeah. If you actually listen to episode 0,
do mention that, don't I?
If you listen to the episode 0 playlist, then
you'll know.
You know of Aesop Rock.
Aesop Rock is just unbelievable. The most craziest person to I don't know how he does his lyrics. I don't know how he thinks of these things, and his vocabulary is just almost. He is a dictionary. He's like a rapping dictionary. But it's not like he's just saying big words or he's intertwining words for like no reason to make it rhyme. There's always like a weird sort of, weird like a riddle. Like you kind of have to try and unravel the more and more you listen to it. And yeah, I don't know. I can't remember. I probably can't decipher half this album. most of the time because the crazy ass beats that Tobacco do. Have you heard of Tobacco before?
So yeah.
So you know what group he's in. So you know where he's come from.
Not off the top of my head. Okay, Mastermind.
Somehow my memory does work in this whole way. So Black Moth Super Rainbow, if I remember correctly.
Right.
That's the group he's from, and they make weird shit. I've not listened to any of their stuff for about probably like 10 years, but they make weird shit. So when I saw this was happening, because I knew Aesop had done a really cool song for one of Tobacco sort of albums back in the day. I think actually LP might have been on one of those songs, or maybe something like that. And it was a super cool song, super weird song. Pretty much, you could probably put that song on this album and it'll be exactly the same. So when I knew they were hooking up and it's going to be on Rhyme Says as well, I thought, this is going to be an absolute...
Yeah, I think that's the thing for me, is that it is a bit like another album we'll speak about as well. You've got a rapper and a producer who, like you said, the kind of off-kilter beats with his lyrics, they
mesh so perfectly. I think because Aesop does produce, like, you know, I think he produced most of the last couple of albums, like, of his solo albums. I think he produced most of them. And I think his beats have always got a knock from like fans and stuff like that. I've always really liked his beats because they're all a bit raw and a bit weird. So when you got someone who's like Tobacco, who's kind of makes sort of weird electronic music, and they go, right, we're going to make an album called Malibu Ken with the crazy artwork that there is, and all the videos. We've seen the recent video of I can't remember what it's called now.
Music videos.
Yeah,
I've not seen any of them for them.
Oh, you have to watch the music videos. Not that they make any more sense than what how Ace is saying, but they are trippy. If you thought the beats are trippy, these are. I'm like, what is going on? I think one of them is where a piece of mold becomes sentient for a bit. Yeah,
we'll give it a go.
But yeah, Aesop Rock and Tobacco under the name Malibu Ken. Definitely check that out. It's just, yeah. If you want an alternative rap, that's literally how I can define it.
Yeah.
It's different than anything else. Above that, so that was number 9 in my list. So number 8, which we have not mentioned, but you have mentioned in your honourable mentions, FKA Twigs, Magdalene. Great album.
Yep.
I don't know what else I can really say, because it's like LP1 was so good in such a, again, I think I just like weird stuff. I like weird or depressive stuff. I think that's what I've realised in sort of music. Yeah, it's just, she's got such a way of how to use her voice on songs, and then the lyrics can be very, very sort of, you probably maybe have like a small notebook of like words, but somehow she can stretch this out and make it sound so emotional and sort of give you that feeling. Like, obviously the majority of it's about a breakup and dealing with that sort of stuff, and you know, and I think she's another one where like we've been waiting for, when did LP1 come out? 2015, 14?
It's been
good 5 years,
4
and a half years.
5 years, something like that.
So we've been waiting for something like this to happen for a long time. She dropped a really cool EP in between that, didn't she?
Yeah, when it kind of first got announced, and I think the first single was the track with Future, which I'm not that much of a fan of, and that had me a bit worried, because it was like, shit, we've waited this long. It's not all gonna be like this, is it?
But then Cellophane dropped.
But thankfully, yeah, it's not.
That's on my. That's good. We'll talk about Cellophane a bit later, but that. When that dropped, and that's obviously the closer of the album as well. It's pretty much what you've been listening to the entire time. This is kind of how the album is. And it's like, it's just a great close, and I think some really, really interesting sort of vocal performances. And I think it's weird how like how it can be really, really sparse, but then there's so much more density to it when you actually keep listening to it, keep actually checking for more things. I think it's an album that I think if you think it's okay to begin with, keep listening to it, because then you're gonna end up liking it more and more. And then next, number 6, Lana Del Rey, Skywalk, Norman fucking Rockwell. What can I say? I've been a fan of Lana. I remember when Lana released Video Games.
Yep.
And I would like to try and dig it out, because it's somewhere over there. But I've got the 7-inch vinyl before she became like super famous. You know, with like Born to Die and stuff like that. Yeah. Not that I'm trying to be like, oh, I'm really edgy and cool. No, I just remember hearing it, and it was like available on vinyl, and I just bought it. And then next, like, I don't know, must have been about a month or so, she became the biggest thing ever. So, yeah, I've always been a fan of her. Again, she's got such a unique voice. It's that shoegazy sort of style where I don't know, I just love that. I think that, you know, that's what was like Beach House, because I like that sort of dreamy sort of pop sounding sort of records, and she's got that perfect sort of delivery with her voice. But I think this album, is probably, although it's not as probably hit after hit after hit like Born to Die was, and maybe that EP was kind of joined together after it, the Paradise Edition, whatever it was. And again, other albums have been good as well. Lust for Life last year or year before was pretty decent as well. It was very good, in fact. This album is like, this is what Lana can do.
Yeah, I think it's,
Best album.
Yeah. I'm still, like I said, still, fan of the Born to Die, the stuff since then. Some of it's been a bit hit and miss, I think, since then. But I think this is easily a best album.
Yeah, I think lyrically,
again,
it's like much like you were saying about some of the other albums, that the messages are behind it. I've always been a big fan of big, like, over 5 minute tracks.
Mm-hmm.
So her big over 5 minute tracks was 6-7 minutes, which closes the album. Again, the closer I've chosen, which should be on my list. That was when that song came out. I probably listened to that 20 times. Like, I just couldn't. I was pretty much on my way to work when I'm walking. I would have listened to that song at least once or twice every time.
Yeah.
It's just so good, and I think she's got such a great delivery as I keep saying. And I think if anyone's been a casual fan of Lana, this is an album that you need to really listen to and really sit down with it and go from track 1 to track wherever it is, track 14 or whatever it is, and really get to grips with what it is, because I think it's just really, really cool. And I think she's releasing like poetry album this year.
Spoken word stuff. Yeah.
So I'm really interested to see what that's going to be like, because she does write pretty much all her own stuff. I know, she does have someone who obviously helps her out and stuff like that maybe, but that's another great thing about her. And I think she wants to keep improving, but she also got all these great messages about being independent and being against maybe power that shouldn't be there, all that sort of stuff. It's it's really, really good.
Really like it's still not mentioned it yet, but it's in my top 10 as well. Just kind of squeaked in, but yeah, again, just overall, just everything about, I think, the songwriting, the instrumental bits, it just all works really well together. And it's kind of like you say, it's in ways similar to stuff she's already done, but it's just like
an evolution, I think.
Really finely tuned, and like that's sort of like been sort of building towards.
I suppose that's kind of what we've been wanting for a while. Because do you remember when Ultraviolence came out and it was produced by the Black Keys guy, Dan Auerbach, and it was an okay album, but it just wasn't like.
Yeah.
We thought, oh my god, it's kind of like it's really cool sort of Black Keys sort of style, sort of instrumentation. It's going to have her, obviously with her amazing voice. Didn't really pop at all. There was a couple of good songs on there. I think was an album after that? Is Lust for Life after that? I can't remember actually.
I think so.
And then Lust for Life was a good album. I think it was a bit too long. Whereas this one is probably a little bit shorter than that, and that's probably why maybe it feels a lot shorter than that. Even though there's like 2 or 3 tracks that are about 10 minutes long almost. Yeah. So pretty good.
But yeah, again, so that's in mine, and then so that one is the 6th one of my list. The other 4 that we've not mentioned, again, no particular order. If you listen to episode 2.5, you've heard our review. GME, Graham MC, got Freddie Gibbs and Madlib, Bandana, got Denzel Curry, Zoo, and Charlie XCX, Charlie. So that is my full top 10. I think there's one of them that you've got.
There's definitely one of them.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, the Jamie, we talked about it fully last episode, didn't we? So we don't really need to go into too much. But been waiting 5 years for a new Jamie album, and it's just exactly what I wanted from a Jamie album.
Well, like I said, it's his godfather.
Yeah.
It's literally his wildest godfather.
And I don't think there's anybody, just in general, not even just in the UK, that is exactly like Jamie, because he just makes music for himself, basically. Does all the beats on the album are great. The lyrics are funny and kind of weird in some places.
Yeah.
It's got a sense of humour, and it was.
In some cases, it's funny that he doesn't always take himself so serious.
We'll clip that.
Yeah.
I think it's almost like it's like the Skepta album this year.
I liked it.
I didn't mind it.
But that's what I wanted from Skepta, though.
Was it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I like Konnichiwa was really, really good. Obviously, that's probably his best album.
Mm-hmm.
But this album was like, I just wanted this album where it's pretty consistent all the way through.
Yeah.
It's got decent sort of grind beats. It's got sort of good sort of direction each song. It just wasn't as good as a lot of other albums that I've listened to.
Yeah.
That's how I looked at it. It's what I wanted from Skepta.
Yeah.
I might be in the minority here, but I don't rate Skepta very well. So Konnichiwa was such a massive surprise for me. I know he's now renowned that is his best album, but so that's when I look at what was it even called? Whatever Skepta album's called.
Ignorance is bliss, I think.
That is it. Yeah. So I was being so ignorant there, and you put me into a bliss state.
There you go.
Yeah. That's just kind of what I really wanted from him, and yeah, that's kind of how it is, really, I suppose. But Jamie is far better. I suppose they both rap very similar, but I think he's a better rapper.
I just feel I don't know. I feel like just in the way that he approaches stuff, I feel like Jamie's he almost like sticks to basics more.
Yeah,
but it just works. But yeah, my other ones that you've not got, Denzel Curry Zoo. It's not particularly long. It's only about half an hour long or something like that. But that's just back-to-back bangers. I just love Denzel Curry, basically. Like his album last year, Taboo. I love that album. Easily one of my top albums of the year. This is different. It's almost like what we were saying about Little Sims, where the last one were more of a bigger concept. This again, it's still there's a story behind it. It's more about where he grew up and stuff like that. But it's not
in Florida.
Yeah. It's not a whole concept across the album. But yeah, it just to be fair, everything is done. Other stuff this year, which I'll mention when we get to some songs. But pretty much everything is done this year. Like even if the song's not been a great song, if he's on it, he kills it pretty much every time. Yeah,
Denzel's a weird one for me. I've liked some of the stuff I've heard of him, and I've heard always been like a feature, but he's not someone I just gravitate towards.
No,
I don't know why. I remember when I first really got into it was he did a song with, or maybe Joey Badass was on one of his songs, and I love Joey Badass, and so I thought the song was really, really good, but for some reason Denzel's has not been the one where I'm like, oh, I need to listen to this project. Like, Taboo last year I didn't. Zoo I haven't done this year either. But he's always on the list to listen to. It's just a bit further down, I thought, in the pecking order. But he can rap, and there's no way I'm not going to say he can't rap. And he is quite. He has a presence on a mic, a presence on a song. You listen to Denzel Curry when he's rapping. So, a bit like how Meek Mill is. You can tell it's Meek Mill when he's rapping.
Yeah,
I think Denzel's very much similar.
Yeah. But yeah, again, just really solid. It's not too long, so if
half an hour,
got a bit of spare time, give that a listen. And then last one that you've not got is Charlie XCX Charlie, which again, it's a pop album, but it's a pretty experimental pop album. There's some bits where I think similar to like the Sophie album last year, Sophie produced for Charlie as well. There were some bits on that where it was, for me, maybe a bit too experimental.
Okay.
And I think there are some tracks on this where it's...
Yeah.
There's two that kind of jump out at me, where you kind of get what she's going for, but it's sometimes a bit too much, and it's like, does this really work?
Right.
But the majority of the songs on it are all great. All the features are pretty great. There's the Haim feature's not amazing.
Well, I hope they are great if they're going to be a top 10.
Yeah. But just again, overall,
Charlie XCX is just a weird one for me. I don't know. I think maybe because I've just looked at it as always like a super pop person. I was never bothered even thinking about it. Then saying that, I mean, I listened to an Ariana Grande album because she's got great vocals, and it's just kind of interesting to see what she does with albums.
I think, to be fair, all of the massive songs, like, I don't know what, I don't care one that she wrote it for someone else, something like that. All the bigger hits have been pretty not middle of the road, but straight pop songs.
Yeah.
Whereas a lot of the stuff here is more experimental, a bit weirder than just a pop song. I
think sometimes, like for me, I always put my guard up for any sort of pop stuff anyway. I always try to be something different, but at the end of the day, they serve a purpose, and sometimes if they're really good, then you kind of really have to really check out, I suppose. And
as well, I know that you're not a coloured vinyl fan, but probably the prettiest vinyl that I got this year. It's a nice kind of translucent lilac-y type colour. Very nice, very pretty.
Yeah, don't really like that.
No, okay.
Well, that's what annoying me, because I've now. Side note, I've now pre-ordered the 1917 soundtrack, but it's a green vinyl. It's like a translucent green vinyl, and I'm like, oh.
I'll get you some black paint or something like that, which should be fine.
Great. But anyway, yeah.
But yeah, so then there's one left.
Well, I think we'll keep that at the end, I think. for obvious reasons. So suppose
with your, what are you, number
five now, is it now? So I'll go straight up there. So number 5 is Dave Psychodrama. And, well, what can we say about this album? This is pretty much what I wanted from Dave. I had the honour of seeing him live last year, like we said before, with Slow Tie supporting, and the kid could just rap, and he's been able to rap for a long time. He's so different to everyone else who comes out from down south, where he can craft a really clever sort of pop sort of tune, but at the same time he can also really go in on a song and make a lot of sort of make a really, really good sort of rap song where he makes you really, really think. I think he's always got, I think all of Dave's sort of songs have always got a bit of a message, and there's always a method behind the lyrics that he uses. I think this album, because I like how it's a bit dark. There's a really good song. I completely forgot off the top of my head now. The song about the woman that get, what's it called? I don't remember what it's called now.
It's like someone's name, isn't it?
Yeah,
that one.
Yeah, that one. It's very similar to other song that by Joe Budden called "Three Sides to a Story." It's a very similar sort of, almost a real life sort of situation that could happen. And I think that's just shows his storytelling sort of chops, and that's what I like about. When people think about hip hop, they always think about the sort of usual sort of stereotypical sort of things. But when you actually have someone who is crafting a story, much like how Little Sims and Slow Tie and Jamie, even a couple of those tracks on the new album as well, when they start crafting these sort of songs that have got a really storytelling nature, that shows you the beauty of hip hop and of rap. It's just you can really, really think, you can vividly see it like it's a movie scene. And I think that's sort of the sort of benefit from that. I think it's a really, really good album. I think it's a really solid album.
I maybe I do need to go back and listen to it, because I haven't listened to it for quite a few months. After listening to it a few times when it did first come out, because that were earlier in the year again, wasn't it?
Yeah, back in April. I think, yeah.
But I don't know. It just didn't click for me. I like it and I can appreciate the lyrics and stuff like that, but I don't know, and I can't put my finger on exactly what it is. But there's some about it.
I just like how the way he raps. It's almost straight to the point.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
That's pretty much what his flow is. But then he can craft all these really good little sort of story segments in it, or a really sort of popular sort of football reference in somewhere. And I think he's just very, very clever that way. And obviously he's very astute in terms of he sees what's kind of going on in the bigger picture, much like a Stormzy does as well, and again Little Sims and Slow Tie have done, and Jamie to a point. So I think that's the reason why I really like it, because it's very much how I want a hip hop album to be. I think it's just at the time. I mean, obviously to me it is the best UK hip hop album, but I think at the time I was like, this is like a new thing for hip hop in the UK now. This is like the bar is being risen. This is like how I felt when you first listened to Boy in the Corner, by Dizzy Rascal. That's how I felt with this album, because I think it's going to change a lot more. Change some of maybe the way what all the down south rappers do. Maybe they change the way they approach songs as well. I'm not sure. Obviously, drill's a new thing now, isn't it? So it's still kind of popping drill. So he did a drill song recently, which was a really good song. So I don't know, but that's number 5. Number 4 is another one of my boys, Billy Woods and Kenny Siegel, Hiding Places. Again, Billy Woods, I've become a fan of past 10 years. Well, I won't say 10 years actually, but past like 5 or 6 years. Again, a rapper very similar to Aesop Rock, where he's got very picturesque rhymes, and they're very well crafted. There's a reason behind each line that he does, and again, I think we've said the message so many times in this podcast itself, but there's some great messages within this as well. And
I like a good message.
Yeah, I think we like messages.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Might be a theme.
But I think with him teaming up with Kenny Siegel, usually he has his own in-house producers at Blackwood Studios, but Kenny Siegel's brought something a little bit different. I think it made this Billy Woods album more approachable. It's probably the most approachable record he's done. Not to say that none of the albums are not approachable. It's just I think it's just more palatable maybe in terms of anything else. And that's mainly because of he doesn't like step it down lyrically. He's still very much pointing in terms of what I've always been. But I think beat wise it kind of all kind of meshes out. Again, it's another rapper and producer, and when they mesh, it always works out really, really well.
Did you listen to, because did Billy Woods have another album later on in the year?
Later on in the year he released Terror Management, which is I think is still a really good album. It didn't get the pop that maybe he wanted to kind of capitalise on, but I think it was still a really, really good album. It's probably better than most of the hip hop albums that came out, but I think when you compare it to Hiding Places, the Hiding Places was just way too out there in terms of like quality. Than that one, unfortunately. But I don't know whether it's because it's Kenny Siegel or it's because it's a bit more minimalistic in terms of Terror Management, but I still happily get that on vinyl eventually when I want to pay customs charge, as well as getting Hiding Places on vinyl. But yeah, so that was number 4. So number 3 is Nick Cave and the Bad Seeds, Ghosteen. I don't know what to say about Nick Cave. It's just
Nick Cave is Nick Cave.
Nick Cave is Nick Cave. Really, there's nothing more you can say. The man can still craft unbelievable sort of atmospheric songs, and it's still kind of, it's not like he's selling out or anything like that, or he's trying to make a quick buck. Like, these are deeply passionate album, and it's a great concept within it all as well. And I think if anyone wants to try listen to a Nick Cave album, this is like a really good. I think the last few albums. I mean, the last album before is probably harder because it was very, very dark.
Yeah.
I mean, stupidly dark.
Yeah.
This one's a little bit more lighter to the touch. I find probably a lot more lighter to the touch. It's almost like a really good polar opposite to. I can't remember what it's called. What happened last year? What was the one year before? My brain's not working.
Is it when they did the film? And...
Kind of, yeah. Well, I went to see him live a few years ago, so I can't remember what that tour was called now. Something anyway. Anyway, it's like a really good sort of. You can listen to that album, then listen to this album. It probably will still work out, I think, because you kind of have that sort of, Skeleton Tree. That's what it was called, right? How can I forget Skeleton? I've even got that on a shirt. Never mind.
Should on the shirt.
No, I think Ghosteen's really, really good. I don't want to go too much in it. I think you really got to listen to it and sit down with it. And I think I've not sit down with it enough, but after like a few listens to it, I thought this is phenomenal. It's just what I want from a Nick Cave album. Although I wouldn't mind the whole being more energetic and being quite fast, but yeah, that's what it is. And then number 2 is Sharon Van Etten, Remind Me Tomorrow. I think Sharon is in the same ballpark of like Lana and FK Twigs maybe to a point as well. There's just a cadence and how she uses her vocals to really, really like be emotive with every word that she's penned down for that song. and you can really feel it. You know, any sort of pain, you can really feel it through it. Anything that she's trying to, she's almost overemphasizing or stressing, you can really tell that. And that's what I think is so good about it. I think she's just, I think if I remember, the last album was still good, but wasn't anything amazing. It wasn't anything like Tramp, where I just love Tramp more than anything else. This is just exactly what I wanted from her. This is what I was expecting. And there's just some really good, this Comeback Kid and 17 are really good, strong singles. Mm-hmm. But then she goes, you know, different way. I think in Saturn Number 9, I think it's called. Like, you know, she just a lot of different sort of things at the same time, doing very comfortable things as well. So I think she really has like shown her diversity in this album. And again, it's one of those things where like it's really palatable for a wider audience who may never heard of it before. They hear that single 17 or even Comeback Kid, they can still go to this album and go, oh, this is actually a lot different, but it's actually still on that same sort of level anyway. I think that's what makes her so great. And I was really good at getting to see her live last year, massively good. But yeah, that's something that I definitely want to see her live when I get a chance.
Yeah, and you love it that much that you got us banned in Canada because of this album. This is the album that got us banned.
This is the album that started the war.
Yeah, that's how much you love it.
Yeah.
So
that's
thanks, Sharon.
Cheers, Sharon. If we die tomorrow, we know who to call from the grave. And so yeah, now we get to the number one on my list.
I'd say this is the Peter Spice Show number one. I'd say.
I think it has to be. Really,
yeah, if we're ordering them, it's in my top 10, and it is your album of the year.
So that is. So we actually tell people not to. We'll just keep saying it's number one.
Just keep alluding to it. We saw this guy live in October as well.
Yeah,
right?
in Manchester.
Yeah, very good.
Pat gig, no merch.
Drum roll.
Oh,
if the mic picks that up.
Probably not. This is Freddie Gibbs and Madlib with the album Bandana, the follow-up to their album Pinata.
Which was when were Pinata? Years ago.
2015, I think, or 14. No, 2014. And I've got every single version of the album possible. I have the CD, I have the vinyl, I have the cassette, I have the vinyl of the instrumentals, and I also have the cassette. No, the cassette of the instrumentals, I think, as well.
Did you have a CD of the instrumentals then?
I don't think I got that. I probably do, actually. I don't think I know where it is, though. I know where those are, though. So,
yeah.
And they literally, must have been a week ago, they announced the instrumentals for this album. I've already pre-ordered that.
On vinyl?
Yep. So...
what if it comes in it's coloured? It's like a blue.
I don't care.
You let them off.
I let them off. It's a great album. Yeah, this is phenomenal. Freddie Gibbs has been pretty much... I suppose if we go back to Pinata, this is when he started becoming the thing that everyone wants to listen to. Pinata was a really good album because no one thought Madlib, being this, producer from Stone's Throw, not really on there anymore, but this underground producer's been doing things for absolutely forever and samples everything possible, and he's got such a way of making beats that who would have thought this guy would then be hooking up with Gibbs, who's been slinging his cocaine bars forever. but as we've come to know, even on this album, even on Pinata, Gibbs can rap on anything. He's literally a rapping machine. Mm-hmm. He can craft a great song. He's got really, really good lyrics. It's not always about talking about the yayo and all that sort of stuff. It's not always about that, but he's got some deep cuts, that he talks a bit about personally. I think just after that album came out, maybe a few months after that, that's when shit hit the fan. He was in tour over in Europe. He was falsely accused of, I think it was rape or something like that. Locked up for, I think it was like a year or so in a European prison. Bear in mind he's American, so not particularly the greatest thing in the world. And I was so good because I remember them talking about the follow up to Pinata back then, and I think, I couldn't wait to see what happened. Then that happened. I was like, couldn't believe it. And I felt so sorry for him. Then when he comes out, he drops a really good EP. I think think You Only Live Die Twice, and he's just been killing it. He's obviously, you know, a time for reflection. You know, I know that Madlib has helped him a lot during that sort of process as well, and you can tell. You know, that I think a couple of those songs are partly what I think he wrote while I was in prison, or have been pretty much done before he went to prison. And I think from the beginning of that album, from this album to the end of this album, it's just amazing. I don't know what else I can really say about it. It's a pure hip hop album where, again, you've got a rapper and a producer coming together, not just like someone just sent some beats and now see what you can do with that. They've worked meticulously on this album, and you can tell because a lot of love and care has come with it. And obviously, when you've got people like Killer Mike and Pusha T on a feature as well, I can't remember all the other features either, but like those are the ones that really stick out. It just shows it's about time that people knew what Freddie Gibbs is about, and this is what it is. He can rap on anything. He's got tracks that he's talking about, you know, obviously breaking up with his girlfriend, because I think his son, I think he cheated on his son's mother. I think that's what I think situation's about.
Yeah, right.
And he just kind of regretted it in a way. But you know, if you ever like this, look at some of the interviews he's done, especially the Joe Budden one. He does talk a little bit like that, how he kind of regrets the way he kind of has treated sort of maybe past girlfriends and stuff like that. And he's becoming more mature, but at the same time, he's got the most jovial, funny sort of side of him, where you can tell that in some of the videos that he does for his songs. You know, you can tell sometimes some of the lyrics as well. You know, he's having fun with it. And I think, you know, this is the stepping stone to where Gibbs is going to be, you know, the person up there, hopefully, with the likes of Jay, Nas. He's up there. He can be really up there. And I remember someone like, I remember Madlib said, "Oh, well, I feel like he's like the new version of Tupac." Maybe because his work ethic. Obviously, they don't sound the similar, or they're not exactly the similar in terms of the song structures and stuff and what they're talking about. But I think maybe in the work ethic and how he's quite consistent.
I think it's like for him blowing up, because I think for people who listen to a lot of hip hop, you know who he is.
Yeah.
But I think outside of that, he's, you know, for as much kind of respect and, you know, admiration that he gets within that community, he's not as well known outside of that, is he?
Yeah.
And for how good he is,
he's the caliber of rapper he is.
Yeah.
But that's the fight you have when you're someone like myself who's listened to so much, and you see all these artists that are so talented, like, and they're dropping amazing albums, but like if you're not Kendrick Lamar or J. Cole, because they've established themselves in different ventures. Obviously, Kendrick through Dre, J. Cole through Jay-Z. Like, you can understand why maybe, because I would go on record that Freddie could probably out-rap at least J. Cole, I think.
Cole, yeah.
Maybe Kendrick on like pure form, I don't know, but I think he could easily out-rap it. But again, it's not about that competition when it comes to that. It's about the notoriety, and also you being able to be sort of marketed in a way to get there. I think because Gibbs has done his own thing, which I think is great, because this album's got so much publicity now, that this could be the stepping stone where the next one they do, which apparently they're working on as well, which is going to be called, I can't remember what it's going to be called now, not called Scarface, it's going to be called something along those lines. I think that's the album that's going to be like, whoa. Yeah. Because they're already working on it now. And he's been a rich form in every freestyle he's done recently. And if you've not even realised, just go check out the LA Leakers freestyle where he's rapping with his son on his lap, and he's just going in for like 3 or 4 minutes straight, and it's just amazing. It's just how we can do that and keep concentration when we're holding his son. It's just amazing. I think he's so talented, and and he's so humble and great and gracious. Even though obviously he knows he knows he's one of the best rappers alive. He knows that, and he will say that. But he's quite like humble the fact that how people. Yeah, he was at the gig really, wasn't he? When he was like, he couldn't believe, he's here now, just rapping in Manchester, like where like a couple of years ago he was in a prison.
Yeah.
He's definitely understands his position and how grateful he is to be in that position.
Yeah, and you don't get the sense that whilst, like you say, I don't think he downplay how good he is, but then you don't get a sense of like entitlement to like, because when we went it's not a massive venue, is it? There's a few hundred people there. There were no sense of like, this is I'm above this level, which
great album. I think best album, number one album ever.
Yeah, the Peter Spice Show,
number one, seal of approval.
So that's our top tens each. So then we've curated and accumulated into a top 10 of
but not in order really.
No real order, just the top 10 ones.
I don't know if you can read my scrawlings there.
Well, I'll try. I'll tell you. I'll leave it to you actually.
Yeah,
I've got no fucking clue what any of that says.
Okay, so obviously got Freddie Gibbs. Then we've got Lana Del Rey, Little Sims, Slow Tie, Tyler the Creator, FK Twigs, Aesop and Tobacco, Lizzo, JME, and rounding out is Shower and Venom.
The top 10.
They're top 10 the Peter Spice Show albums of 2019.
So if you need when you years to come, when you're thinking 2019, what were the top 10 albums that year?
Daddy, what happened in 2019?
Refer back to that list.
Go, well, the Peter Spice Show gave you these 10 albums.
Certified.
We'll have to get like a stamp with that logo on and just randomly stamp. We should go to like a record store and just stamp.
Just get
random.
whack a lot of stickers
we'll just do it on the CDs because I don't want to ruin the vinyls or anything like that. That's pretty much it in terms of the top albums.
Are there any albums you want to shout out very quickly?
I suppose so. Yeah, I mean, was not mentioned. I suppose Big Crit is here. Play on Crit was here when that first mixtape came out, and that's kind of got him to fame. Crit is a rapper who also produces, and he's always just consistently good. I don't think I've ever had a bad Crit album. I just felt this album probably wasn't top 10 material. I mean, like, if I did a top 50, it'd probably be my top 20.
Yeah, I think compared to as well, was it last year or the year before that he?
The year before.
Yeah, compared to that one.
Last year was awesome.
Yeah. But I mean, you not that you know what you're gonna get, but you're in safe hands, aren't you?
Yeah, Crit's always going to deliver no matter what. I've never got any problem with Crit. Next is I got Lizzo and JME, which obviously we've mentioned and talked about before. Got Mannequin Pussy, Patience, really cool sort of. I think again it's like that post-punk sound. You give me that, and I'm just like, okay, well, I'm pretty got me around my little finger. Next is Rhapsody's Eve.
Yeah,
I think it's definitely worth a shout out. That
not
only because this is an album what's now catapulted. I don't know what I'm trying to say. Catapulted into the limelight, and rightfully so. She's been working tirelessly in the Jamala records, and finally she's getting a sort of shine with Eve. And I think Eve is a really, really, really good album. I just don't think it's top 10 material in my opinion. I think there's some tracks that just don't really. I think maybe it might be a case. I'm out of stuff for ages though, but it might be a case where there's a couple of tracks that just don't sit right. And
I think even comparing it to the last one from
Latitas of Wisdom. Is that what it was?
When did that even? I can't remember if that was 2018, wasn't it? That she had the album. 2017, 2018.
Maybe, yeah.
Anyway, because that was again. Kind of like the Crit one, I think. I think it was the same year as the Crit, whatever year it was. Given that was so good, it's still a great album this year. But
it's weird because like people are saying that this album is her best album.
Yeah,
I just don't believe. Yeah. I think the last album was the best album.
I think
not that this album's a bad album at all, but I like the concept as well that every song is a strong female. I think African American actor, actress, or whatever, or someone in the actual publicity sort of eye. Next is Little Brother, which is a weird sort of segue because Rhapsody, who usually deals with a lot with Ninth Wonder's a lot of beats. Little Brother, when they came around, they pretty much made Ninth Wonder really. Their first two albums were produced by Ninth Wonder, pretty much two of the best sort of cult classic hip hop albums ever, especially the first one, The Listening. So, to kind of cut long story short, they've been on and off. It continues now just the two rappers, which is Fonte and rapper Big Pooh. Yep, that is his name, rapper Big Pooh. And this is the first album when I read an interview. The first album, you can tell as well, where Fonte and said that it's the first time I really got to know. I'm gonna call him rapper. Mm-hmm. I'm not gonna say rapper Big Pooh every single time. Rapper actually well, and actually spent time with him a lot more than maybe back in the day where it was a bit more like trying to get stuff out. And it's a shame that there was no Ninth Wonder sort of track, but I don't really know what their relationship stands at this present time, but still a really good album, really good comeback. It's one of my favourite comebacks of the year, basically, of them really delivering a really solid album. It just didn't. I think I said if I was doing a top 50, that'd probably be my top 20 as well. To be honest,
that's not one I've listened to actually. So
it's worth it. Only the thing is for me because I've followed them for a long
history,
time.
Yeah.
So I would listen to like at least the first two albums, and then you could probably jump into that one because they do go back to. I suppose the third album, Get Back, when he's got Lil Wayne on it, and that was a really weird way of doing it. And that's when they broke away from Ninth Wonder. That still, I think, is a good album. It's just not as good as the other two, especially the first one. But this is like more return to form. Fonte's been doing stuff for ages. If you not know about Fonte, if you ever heard of Foreign Exchange, he's a singer.
Oh, okay, right.
So, I remember, in fact, on a side note, with Drake saying like he's like the first singing rapper or whatever it was.
Oh yeah, of course.
Fonte, obviously, Fonte was the first one doing it, so he felt away about that.
I don't know, man. I think I believe Drake.
Fuck Drake. He's Canadian, so we have to,
Actually, yeah, that's a good point. I didn't really.
Never mind his war song, which we'll talk about one day.
That haven't crossed my mind.
His bloody drill song. Anyway, moving on. Next one is Snow Allegra's Those Feelings. Mm-hmm. Great. I've kind of known about her for like a few years, about a year or so. I suppose it is a few years now. We're in 2020, isn't it? So, she's just a really, really great R&B singer.
Yeah.
And she's got really good, again, like vocals is just something that I feel like I've got a good ear for, and I feel like if you got a certain sort of way of how you utilize them, I kind of will automatically gravitate towards that. So I think all the songs are really, really solid. Again, that would be my top 20 if I was doing a top 20, but we're not. So there we go. So yeah, that's a really good album to listen to if you like any sort of like R&B or even R&B poppy sort of songs. They're really, really well crafted and really, really easy to kind of get into as well. They're right enough. Actually, there's another one I actually want to put. Kano. Hoodies All Summer.
Okay, so you're letting it on despite that one track.
That's why I'm putting it
with the
on.
stablet, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm going to put it on honourable mention.
Listeners of episode 2, was it?
I don't know.
I think.
When I might have a bit of a diatribe about.
Oh yeah, about Sucky Mum. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna put it on there only because I've always been a big Kano fan, and it is a really, really good album up to that last track.
Okay, so you can skip the last track.
You can literally skip the last track.
Okay.
Because I think in the track before the banger anyway, classic.
Yeah, so so basically make a playlist of all the songs, just except the last song.
Or when Class of Deja finishes, that's it. You don't need to listen to anything else.
That's fine. That's fine.
Because it is a good album, much like his album before, which was T-Shirt in the Manor, wasn't it? That was a really, really good album. So I really like that. And then what's going to round off then is Bon Iver's
Made in the Manor.
Because the single,
T-shirt weather in the yeah.
You know what I mean.
Yeah, just for the listeners at home.
Or to correct me.
Yeah.
Hashtag you're wrong.
You masterminded me on King Tobaccos. So
that is true.
Yeah.
King Tobaccos. Bon Iver's I. Is it I? Is that how you say it?
2 I don't know. Is it like like Roman numerals?
Oh,
I.
Yeah, but it's not.
Two.
It's lowercase. So
Sometimes it can be if you're doing like it could be both.
I'm gonna call it I Captain.
Yeah.
I think it's just a Bon Iver album, isn't it? I don't really know what else to say. He's just always consistently good. So I don't really know. If you like Bon Iver, you're gonna like this album.
Yeah. If you don't, then probably stay away from it.
Yeah. Again, because he has weird vocal performances, I kind of will gravitate towards it. I just didn't think it was as good as the other 10 albums that I mentioned, or even other albums I mentioned, in fact.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it was because I remember thinking about, because he was performing in First Directory, and I was thinking, do I want to get tickets? And I don't really think he's a big sort of
yeah.
To me, like that, his music should only be in like a basement venue.
Yeah,
because it's an intimate thing. It's not like it's like the issue.
If you sat half a mile back.
Issue I had with James Blake when he was bloody performing with Kendrick Lamar, spotting him. It's like we're in a massive venue. You were there, even though we didn't even really know each other at that point, but you were also there. Mm-hmm. It's like it just didn't really resonate, did it? So so that's my H&M's.
So yeah, all of them. Give them a listen.
Tell us what you think.
Yeah. Tweet us, hashtag us, Instagrammers, YouTube comment. What are your albums of 2019?
Yeah.
What have we missed?
Dom,
Matt.
Helena, if you're listening. Laura, if you're listening.
Maya, apparently, if you listen.
Maya, if you want to actually, help us, please just comment us. the plea you're gonna have there. Anyone though, just we want to know, have a discussion, maybe a bit more thorough. Maybe on we don't want to keep droning on about what how we like these albums, because they're meant to be listened to. You can describe only so much, but these albums are what resonate with us, and this is kind of the reason why. You may like them, you may not like them, but try them out.
Yeah, definitely. So, and I mean, we'll keep this briefer. I think. To be fair, a lot of these are from albums that I've already talked about as well.
I don't think we'll go into depth of these. The reason why I like these songs. Yeah, I think we'll just go. These are the songs that we really liked and vibed with, for probably various reasons throughout the year, and so we've chosen 10 songs each.
Yeah. So, I'll just give you my 10.
All right.
So, again, this is it's alphabetical order.
Yeah,
alphabetical order by artist. Don't read too much into this.
Mine's not in order at all. Mine's not a top 10.
Charlie XCX featuring Christy and the Queens from the album. Track is called Gone. It's a great song. Great feature. Work very well together. Dorian Electra from the album that I mentioned.
Yeah.
The song is called Career Boy. Also a very good song. An album that didn't quite make it into my list, but I still like. James Blake featuring Rosalia, Barefoot in the Park. It's just a fucking great song.
Yeah, it's a good song. I thought you were going to go for the other song for a second, which I almost put on my list.
What, the Andre 3000
Three
one?
Stacks song, yeah.
Yeah. Little Sims. I put 101 FM on, which I don't think was a single, but I just really like that song.
I can't remember how that even goes.
Check it out.
Lizzo,
Juice. I think out of all albums, song from that album, it's
it's probably
the biggest banger. I think it's just what a song.
That's a good song. That
Michael Kiwanuka, Hero, from the album.
It's not like a Hero song like Nickelback did. No,
It's similar to that. Chris.
What's the hero? How's it go again?
Which one? The
I was singing Enrique one then for a second. You could be my hero, baby, but it's not that. Isn't it called Hero or something?
Maybe I'm not as into Nickelback as you are.
Well, no, because it was. I mean, I've seen them live, but I mean, but it was like a Spider-Man 2 soundtrack or something.
We'll have to get back on that one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll have a review of the Spider-Man 2 soundtrack in the next episode.
Then gone the poppiest one actually. Normani. Single's called Motivation. It's like a bit of a kind of noughties pop throwback and just like catchy as fuck, and it's just sick. We've now gone Otoboke Beaver. The song is called, I think, S'il vous plaît. That's how we're spelling it. It is on the playlist.
S'il vous plaît.
Is it S'il vous plaît?
Yeah.
Is that how you spell S'il vous plaît?
I think so, yeah.
I never did French. So...
I mean, I got a C in French, but that was like a long time ago.
There we go. It might be S'il vous plaît, but...
That's definitely vous plaît, so...
Quote Chris's French GCSE. Yeah, punk track. It's, again, great. Then gone, combination of two of my favourite albums, Slow Tie and Denzel Curry. The track is Psycho.
I knew you would have.
What a fucking song. Just great. They go so well together.
Do you know what? I think I found the beat for that, the original beat, somewhere. It wasn't like some random producer like I found. I don't know how I found it, but...
And then, lastly, Tyler. Earthquake.
Yeah.
Probably, I mean, main single off the album, and it's just really
so
great.
yours have got a lot more, like, pop to it. Not I mean that in a bad way, I'm saying, like, more happiness tone to it.
Oh, God.
Wait.
Maybe this is it. This is the yin and the yang. Mine balance yours out.
Nah, to be fair, mine is not that bad, to be honest. I mean,
you can listen
the first song.
Listen to Chris's 10, and then listen to my 10 to sort of cheer up again.
I'll just shuffle them both and see what happens. Go for a mixture of emotions, a cage of emotions. Yeah. First one is Lando Rey's, and this is the full title, I think. Hope is a dangerous thing for a woman like me to have. Ellipses, but I have it. Almost as long as the track is.
Yeah.
Pretty much exactly what that song is all about. And I think it's just a beautiful song. I think it's so well made. It's although you may see, if you ever saw like the running time for it, you're like, oh, that's a long song. But then you don't even realise that you go past it, and it's just a lot more layers to it. I think more you listen to it. The next one is another producer and rapper combo, True and Living. This is a single called by Blue and Exile. Yeah. Blue and Exile is, whenever they hook up, they just drop some gems, and that track is just a boom bap Cali sort of track, and sometimes you just want that. And Blue just on form, Exile's on form with his beats. Yeah, exactly what I wanted. Again, another producer and rapper combo, but the number one album.
The album 2019.
The album defined 2019.
Yeah.
Palm Olive, featuring Pusha T and Killer Mike. Pusha T's probably his best guest verse in the entire year.
Yeah.
Not that he did that many, but it almost rivals, I think, even Freddie's verse in this one. But wow, I never thought I'd see Push and Fred on a track together, because I thought Fred holds like Push at high esteem, and Killer Mike kills the hook. I got mixed feelings with Killer Mike sometimes these days, but I won't go into that. I'll probably wait till Run the Jewels 4 comes out this year, if it ever does. But no, awesome track, brilliant sample. It's just, as what Madlib does, he just finds something and you can loop it, put something else behind it, and it just works for whatever reason. It's not for everyone, that sort of beat. I love it. It's very similar to the thugging beat, which is my favourite beat.
Yeah.
On Pinata, so it's just a very similar sort of thing, and the fact that you got Pusha T rapping on it as well as Killer Mike on the hook, that's cool. Next is Sharon Van Etten's 17, the big hit single. it's just a really good tune. Like a really, just obviously talking about when she was 17, hence it's called 17, and seeing someone that's very similar to her when she was her age, and you're probably gonna be like me, all that sort of stuff. I think it's just a really, really good song. That. Then next is Idols, Mercedes Maxis. Is that how you say it?
Yeah.
Yeah. I always look at that word and go, is that how you say it? Okay. Yeah, that's just a really cool Idols single. I don't know what I was hoping there would be more than that single, but apart from the live album, obviously.
Yeah,
Was that even on the live album? That track.
I'm not sure, to be honest with you. But yeah, they're pretty low key here, really, aren't they?
Yeah. So it's Parquet Courts, actually, thinking about it.
Yeah.
Just a typical post-punk track. If you know what Idols are like, that's what they are. Really, really cool song. I think it's a really, really good song, and it just came out of nowhere. I think in May, it was, and I've been listening to that since then. Next, I think the theme of my songs are pretty much a producer and a rapper. Billy Woods and Kenny Seagulls. I think it's called A Day in a Week, in a Month, in a Year. Or it might not be the month part of it. It might be just a day in a week in a year. Featuring Mother May, I think it says. I mean, the problem is I got really bad writing, so even I can't decipher what I put. It's probably one of the most unique tracks on that album. Obviously, you can tell what the concept is by the track title, and I think Mother May or Mother Ma, whatever her name is, she's got a really nice sort of like simple, sparse sort of hook, and yeah, it's just Billy was just saying how how life is, how life can be like that, and it's just so kind of fast paced and also quite monotonous at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
Next, another rapper and producer combo, A$AP Rock and Malibu Ken, Acid King.
Yeah, I
think that's pretty much the lyrical flexibility of A$AP on a really weird. I think Acid King is pretty much what it means when you think a beat. That's the Acid King beat. Yeah, it's just him just flexing his sort of lyrical muscles throughout the entire thing, and I've more listened to that song more. I don't understand it, but I still keep trying to understand it more often. Then you've got FK Twigs, Cellophane. I think, as I mentioned probably that earlier, I think it's a really, really beautiful song about obviously a breakup, but it's just really, really nice. It's pretty much it's the album to the T. So you obviously don't even have to listen to the album. You can listen to that track and you pretty much won't get it, but it's definitely worth delving back into the album and listening to the rest of it. Yeah. It's just a really, really a song that I expected from FK Twigs, and she delivered it really, really well. But I'm so glad when that came out. And then Slow Tie, so another Slow Tie track here, but it's the opener. Nothing Great About Britain, because I think that's pretty much what we discussed earlier. Is exactly what is in that track, and then you just get the fragments from that track and through the rest of the album. It's just,
like if you boil it down and concentrated it into
it literally is. Even though that is the title of the album, like he has done that, and that first on the opener, and you get all the political sort of things in all of his unique way, all the different layers, and then once that track finishes on the album, then you get in all the stray sort of branches that are on there, and it just kind of follows through there. I think it's just a great opening and a really, really good song as well. Yeah. That's it. That's my 10 songs. That's our 20 songs.
20 songs altogether. Check the playlists.
On Spotify, Apple.
Yeah, links in the description. Links will be in the description, so check them out. But yeah, 2019. I think overall,
I think it was a solid year.
Yeah.
I don't know if it... Would I say... I think I'm not listening as much as I would usually do. And what I usually do, for listeners that don't really know me, I would usually do like a top 50.
Mm-hmm.
But because we do a podcast now, I'm not going to do top 50 anymore, because I think it'd be impossible for me to actually do it and then talk about it as well. So I've kind of gone away from top 50 sort of side of things. I usually try and listen to over 150 albums. I think I managed 180 this year. Yeah. Last year, should I say?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
The year before, I managed 224. So
yeah, I'm not quite at those numbers, but yeah, just
this is why you'll get very varied players, because I listen to so much,
so
many different things. If I hear a song, I think, oh, that should be on there, then I will do. But again, I think it's why I can't go into detail all the time with every song because my brain's so mashed from all everything else. That's probably the reason why. But yeah,
I would be here for 4 hours rather than going to, yeah.
I don't know. We're just speaking nonsense about it, which we do anyway, so it doesn't really matter. You don't really do that sort of extent as I do.
Yeah, I mean, I've probably listened to more this year than I have. The years just gone. Probably again a wider range of stuff as well. But yeah, similarly, even like a top 20-ish. Some of it I feel like you're just putting there to make up the numbers almost. And to begin with, I didn't even have 10 like top albums. So I think 50 would be a bit of struggle for me. I think there'd be a lot of.
What should be your goal? We should put a goal for
a lot of shit at the bottom of it.
How many albums? Yeah, but how many albums are you going to listen to this year?
Listen to.
What's going to be your goal? I mean, I'm not even going to. I mean, I know they're going to set more than 150 anyway. I don't have to even think about that.
Well, I can do 150.
150.
Yeah.
Okay.
We'll come back to this in our
in
2020 year review.
Yeah, in 2021.
Jesus.
Yeah, so that's kind of our little review. We were going to think about doing what's the sort of notable points of 2019.
Yeah, but
I can't even think what we haven't come that prepared, unfortunately. But probably something we could, if there's like no news a week, we could probably just especially this month, we could probably do something. Well, we've thought about it. Yeah, this happened. Yeah. But yeah, that's kind of what we kind of wanted to do. Yeah. Obviously, I think
we were going to talk about as well albums that we
missed
that we need to listen to again.
But I think what should that be is that if anyone's listened to this
and are like, you need to listen to this album, then tell us.
Yeah, because we've got like a quiet month right now, and I'm still slowly trawling through, should I say, the back catalogue that I've got to kind of get through on Apple Music. But if anyone has really, really digged an album and I want to kind of suggest it to us, please do so. I'd rather give it a shot than not, because it could be something I could end up really, really liking. So that's to you, the 4 or 5 people that end up listening to this podcast after about 8 hours long. Any other final thoughts?
No, so said it before, but follow us on. We've got Twitter, Instagram that we're going to be mainly using. We have Facebook, but who uses Facebook really? However you listen to podcasts, Spotify, Apple, YouTube, whichever. Give us a follow.
Yeah, in fact, if anyone listens to it and they prefer it on a different platform.
Actually, to be fair, if there's any that we're not on that would be good, then let us know.
If for whatever reason it's better than the other ones.
and we can try to sort some out.
We've only gone for the mainstream ones because it makes more sense in a way.
But then hopefully back next week with your regular scheduled programming. Really, 2010 to 2019 decade review coming
February probably.
Sometime soon, next month. Hopefully we'll try to get some sorted there.
Because I've got to really think about that.
But yeah, other than that, wraps it up for me.
Yeah. Pretty much that's everything really, isn't it? So peace out.
And see you next time.